Good morning, everyone. Whoops. January 2nd, Monday. Whoa. Did you guys all have a good morning, a good first day of January? True God's Day. Well, I did what I said I was going to do. Let's see if you guys can see it. We got zucchini, tomato, Rutger tomatoes. I harvested these seeds myself. They're heirloom. Cucumbers, broccoli, cabbage, and cauliflower. I got it started. Yes. There are some seeds that I came across. Oh, this is my seed box right here. Let's open it up. You guys can see. That's my seed box right there. Lots of seeds in here. And I do weed out the older ones. Usually seeds, I've heard people, oh, you can freeze them, this, that. Some things I do put in the freezer when it comes to seeds, but since I grow enough myself, and people always bring me some, and then I have to figure out, okay, is this heirloom, is this not, does it matter, because hybrid seeds, okay, which will not produce, even if there are seeds, the plants may grow, but they may produce very little or none, no fruit or vegetables at all. And they can infect your hybrids, actually. So I'm trying to be really careful that I don't lose my heirloom seeds, right, to a hybrid. Yet, I have grown hybrid, saved seeds, and then grew enough, and there's maybe one fruit or two fruits, like a tomato on it or something, and then, I'd look, and there are very few seeds in there, but if there is just one or two, then I'd do it again, and I did that over about 3 years or something, and the plant would actually start producing more again. So, interesting. But it takes a lot of work and dedication to do that, to just get one fruit off a whole plant, and then what? But there's a way to restore the Ur code, the ancient code, or the original code in a plant if it gets time to what? Restore. Isn't that amazing? Yes. All right. Well, anyway, there we are. I started that. I have more bottles, but I kind of went through my seeds and went, I do have limited space here, and some things can be just put straight out there, right, in the garden. I don't need to pull them first. So the question always here is, when is the last freeze that some plants just can't handle, regardless? So one, though, that is perfectly fine to put out, and I think I might wait a little longer, but the weather is going to be so good for the next so many days, and I know that peas survive frost and snow quite well. So I might just, because I have enough seed, I might just say, I'm just going to start early, and then if I have to reseed again, then I'll do that, right? Yes. Yeah, no big deal. We'll see what we'll all do this year. I can just all prep it mainly, because after June, it'll be, oh, my sis, you have to take care of it for a couple of months. Exodus 13. I see we're not done with the firstborn yet, just by the overheads. Oh, no. Yeah, it's a interesting story that to get away from Egypt, and on how some things are just written down. It kind of divides my emotions a bit, right? Yes. All right, Exodus 13. Sometimes it's better to just, okay, we'll just read it, and I think about it afterwards. Sometimes I think about it all day just to gain some understanding. And I don't know if that ever happens to you guys, but I've had kind of these epiphanies just before I wake up, or I woke up and something goes through my mind, and I suddenly have this really clear understanding of something, and I'm going, I'm gonna mention that, and I just understood something, and I have this just absolute 100% conviction of it. I get up and I can't remember what it is. No idea. All I know is it's associated with, for example, the story here. And I have this absolute conviction that on whatever happened, that there was a reason for it to happen, that I don't, as a human being with the capabilities that I have, even spiritual, can't quite understand. But I know it was right. Okay. So in any case, I have those every so often. And again, it's like this, I want to explain it, what I just experienced, and it's not happening. It's not happening. But anything, when it comes to the heavenly laws, or everything happens for a reason. Everything and how it was built up happened for a reason. Right? Yes, always on the positive. Right? Never in the, there's something negative here. It gives me the right to go out and take matters into my own hands. Right? It's not like that. It's not like that at all. Then we're not learning properly from this textbook either. Well, anyway. So let's go. Exodus 13. Yahweh spoke to Moses and said, consecrate all the firstborn to me, the first birth from every womb among the Israelites, whether man or beast, it is mine. Oh, that's interesting. This isn't just about taking the lives of the firstborns of the Egyptians. God is making another condition here, per se, that every firstborn, man or beast, is mine. Could go back to, again, is there some restoration going on from Cain and Abel? The feast of unleavened bread. Moses said to the people, remember this day on which you came out of Egypt from the place of slave labor, for by the strength of his hand Yahweh brought you out of it. Which no leavened bread may be eaten. Which again, so here they are, they've just come out of a situation where they were slaves themselves, yet they owned slaves. It was in the last, they owned slaves. They had slaves. Now, tell me, how does that work? What kind of a discrepancy is that? Or hypocrisy? So they know what it feels like to be slaves, yet they have slaves themselves. So much to restore. Really, right? Yes, but are people noticing that? Am I the only one notices stuff like this? We're going to put a long way off from, right? Yes? Well, anyway. Maybe that's why people need so many directions and laws and this and that. On this day, in the month of Abib, you are leaving, and when Yahweh has brought you into the country of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Amorites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, flowing with milk and honey, which he swore to your ancestors that he would give you, then you must observe this rite in the same month. For 7 days you will eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day there must be a feast in Yahweh's honor. During these 7 days unleavened bread may be eaten. No leavened bread may be seen among you. No leaven among you throughout your territory. And on that day you will explain to your son, this is because of what Yahweh did for me when I came out of Egypt. This will serve as a sign on your hand, would serve. What? This will serve as a sign on your hand would serve, or a reminder on your forehead, and in that way the law of Yahweh will be ever on your lips, for which a mighty hand Yahweh brought you out of Egypt. You shall observe this law at its appointed time, year by year. Have no idols. It's pretty clear to me here. Before our Father in heaven, our heavenly parent. The firstborn, when Yahweh has brought you into the Canaanites' country, as he swore to you and your ancestors that he would, and given it to you, to Yahweh you must make over whatever first issues from the womb, and every firstborn cast by animals belonging to you. These males belong to Yahweh, but every firstborn donkey you will redeem with a lamb or kid. If you do not redeem it, you must break its neck. Ugh. What? What is this? All the human firstborn, however, among your sons you will redeem. And when your son asks you in days to come, what does this mean? You will tell him, by the strength of his hand, Yahweh brought us out of Egypt, out of the place of slave labor. When Pharaoh stubbornly refused to let us go, Yahweh killed all the firstborn in Egypt, of man and beast alike. This is why I sacrifice every male first issuing from the womb to Yahweh, and redeem every firstborn of my sons. Oh. This will serve as a sign on your hand would serve, or a headband on your forehead. For by the strength of his hand Yahweh brought us out of Egypt. You know, in the Divine Principle, there's a part where it explains the subject-object position of man and woman. And in a way, reading this as a woman, I'm going to have no idea what this means. I have no clue. I mean, I'm not kidding. It's like, to me, this is like, what? I know there is some restoration going on here. But how that restoration actually works, and why all this slaughtering is needed to redeem then the first sons of the Israelites, I'm not getting that. Except for, I know how Cain and Abel's story went, and on how Cain, in a way, right, the archangel Lucifer, after the fall of Adam and Eve, could claim their firstborn as his. It's a weird way. It's a weird thing. And Abel, God could claim Abel, right? Kind of a weird little, I don't know, competition going on between God and Satan. And I don't know. I can't, not, but it seems like that a lot of this has to do with our own spirit, not just physically. We do what we do, we grow as we grow, we are who we are, as we are, and that is kind of it, right? Yes? But spiritually, somehow, there was such a big rift that happened somehow, right? That it really affected people's minds. And I think we can see, even just in Genesis already, right? Where we're getting to the point where the 10 Commandments were needed, right? Because the people just didn't know it. They didn't get it. And how you actually live properly together. And how you, in a way, serve God. Your hand should serve God. Yes? Well, anyway, but again, I have to say, as a woman, I have to say, men may have a different view of this. And they understand this in a different way. Right? Yes? And they need to communicate amongst each other about these kind of things, I would say. What's the responsibility of a man in a family? What's the responsibility of a firstborn in a family if it's a man? Yeah, what if it's a firstborn girl? Yeah. I don't think that object and subject position ever change. Subject will always be subject. Object is always object. That doesn't mean they're not on equal footing. It's just that there are just different parts spiritually that being in the right position, then you're under different kind of obligations, responsibilities. Yes? Yeah. So again, I'll read this. I'm going, okay, whatever. I'm not getting it. But men may be getting this. Maybe something for them to study and gain greater clarity in it. But to me, this doesn't really make any much sense. Again, just a woman. The departure from Egypt, the departure of the Israelites. When Pharaoh had let the people go, God did not let them take the road to the Philistines' territory, although that was the shortest, in case God thought the prospect of fighting makes the people change their minds and turn back to Egypt. Oh, that's an interesting part right here. That's actually true. The way to Canaan could have been done in a very short amount of time, but he had them take the route for 40 years through the wilderness. And again, most likely to rehabilitate their spirit, their heart to mind, right? Back to God. They've been for 400 years in Egyptian land. You take on certain things, right? Then that, God, I can't, heavenly laws don't change. That's never going to change. So I have to literally rehabilitate my people again. Right? To what? And the thing is, one could say, well, look around the world. Look around the world and how people think. What actually gets done. And what's important and what deems to be not important. Where are, every red tape or every rule gets broken and cut through in a short amount of time. Right? Yes? To let someone go, to bury certain things, to snap, right? For whatever gain, right? Power, greed, and money. It's just, it rules this world. And then how, where one would say, cut the red tape there, do bend the rules. Are you kidding me? Save those people, right? It's not happening. Right? Suddenly the rules apply in the worst way. And it's like, what? So if you look all around the world, did it work? Did it work for God to have his people take this really long route, well, the way the world looks when it comes to many different things, it didn't work. Still didn't work. Restoration in the hearts to mind in the people, it's still going on. Yes? Saw a good one this morning. So it's the year of the rabbit. Okay, Chinese zodiac stuff. I said, oh, what was I again? Oh, dragon. Okay. And supposedly the dragon won't have a very good year in 2023. Won't have a luck. I'm going, oh my gosh, what? This is, going right away. I'm going, bunch of crap. Okay, guys, it's just crap. That's all crap. Oh, I won't have a problem, but I saw it and I'm going, oh, how many people, the year of the rabbit, go and look it up and see, and then they get this negative kind of thing in their life, and it's going to follow them all through 2023. Because superstitious stuff is just, again, there you go again, right? Yes? Why? Why are people so easily influenced by things like that? Right? I saw another one where, interesting, the numbers, okay, you know what? I'm not even going to go there. I'm going to say this, okay, that our heavenly parent, God, our Father in heaven, invented the numbers, created numbers, a number system, and no number, no matter in what sequence, this and that, is bad, okay? But somehow someone out there decided that, this would be a good thing. What, to mess with people's heads? It's dumb. Hello, everyone. It's dumb to believe that. Okay? So, that must say. Well, here we go. So God had to take them the long way. All right. He tried. Instead, God let the people a roundabout way through the desert of the Sea of Reeds. The Israelites left Egypt fully armed. What does that mean? The Israelites left Egypt fully armed. Moses took with him the bones of Joseph, since Joseph had put the Israelites on solemn oath with the words, "It is sure that God will visit you." He had said, "And when that day comes, you must take my bones away from here with you." Okay, that's important. They set out from Succoth and encamped at Etham, on the edge of the desert. Yahweh preceded them, by day in a pillar of cloud to show them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, so that they could march by day and by night. The pillar of cloud never left its place ahead of the people during the day, nor the pillar of fire during the night. Oh, interesting. That's the end of 13. I do believe that there is a give and take between certain things that God at that time was trying to regain. That's basically what it is, right? Yes? Just, well, people just living on earth, so whatever. I think that this story also really tries to teach us now as well that we have a higher calling, right? Yes, on earth here. For one reason or another, we do all have a higher calling. And the care that we receive from heaven through spirit world, it's very humbling, I think. It should be humbling to everyone. Yes, that care in many ways. And I think that 2023 could be one of those years, right? Yes. It's a funny thing too, where we show a little more care again towards everything, just everything, right? Yes, we've been very distracted. We've been very, very distracted. There was something about, okay, so the Year of the Rabbit. I saw a post. I'm going, oh, it's the Year of the Rabbit. Let's go and check it out. And the rabbit is a symbol of mercy and a couple other things. I'm looking, mercy? What? Good. All right. Okay, so we're talking, and it was a kind of an Easter bunny portrayed in a post as the Year of the Rabbit. Now, rabbits in the wild, okay, they mate for life. Did you know that? Rabbits in the wild mate for life. And they're very protective of their young by building burrows to snap that are not as easy accessible. And considering we have a lot of rabbits here right now, my sister says, "Oh, I see, there's rabbits everywhere right now." Oh wow! Already they're already out of their burrows. Well, that's and I've had 2 experiences here raising rabbits. I've raised a lot of rabbits. Rabbit meat is really good, by the way, and very safe to eat for diabetics. Anyway, I'm not a diabetic. It's just something I found out after I went and read up on the rabbit meat. And I had so many. I kept them until they were a certain age in a cage, big enough. They had enough room, yet it still wasn't enough room. And the younger ones that were growing up, they weren't quite adults yet, they started killing each other. So it's like, whoa, what? What are rabbits doing to each other? And if a mother rabbit doesn't feel safe, that safety is not there for her babies, and that can even include you as the owner, to be a threat, she'll kill all of them. Interesting. Okay, so I ended up not having the help anymore that I needed to continue with that. And it was so much work, and I've already had so much work that I decided to let most of them go, and I did. Oh, there were rabbits around here for 2 or 3 years that, you could tell, oh, that was one of ours. Sometimes they would come back into the yard here, and it was kind of cute, but I'm sure they made good food for a lot of other animals out there. Oh, no, look, they lived a free life for as long as, they were not babies that I let go. They were bigger, and they sure enjoyed it because they didn't hang around to get fed. And I had put food out for them in case they had a hard time finding food. And but they were gone in no time. Anyway, but as I said, and then I had just a pair left. And one thing, and you raise animals, you don't leave. You have the two get together, and then you remove the male again. Okay. And because it's well known that the father will, and once she gives birth, the father will most likely in a cage kill the babies. And so I had a pair left, and I knew she was ready to give birth. And I put them in a big space, partly under the porch, and had a fenced in an outside part. And he immediately started to build a barrow. And she gave birth, and they raised their babies together in a big space, plenty of space. I never had a problem. They were the biggest rabbits you can imagine. And it was just so, it's almost watching every day. You could watch a rabbit family just doing their thing, huddling together, jumping around, all the babies. And there were about 13 of them or something, 13, 14 of them. They all got along well. I didn't have to separate the females from the males at a certain age. They never hurt each other. They never, right? Yes? Okay. It's pretty interesting to see the difference on how when you raise an animal, give it at least the proper surroundings to do what they would do in the wild. Even if they're not quite free, they still have that possibility. And on what happens when you just have them in a cage. And again, as I say, I had nice places for them, and they got to go out, as well. They had outside, and yet that was not enough. Yes. So, mercy. Yeah, in the wild. Not sure how mercy comes in for rabbits, but when they are kept in captivity, there's no mercy going on anymore. What am I trying to say? I think as the mindset, the instincts of an animal are disrupted when kept in a small enclosure, in captivity, without being able to have at least part of their time in a more natural environment than a cage. Is not much different than what happens to people as well. Often we cage ourselves, we imprison ourselves with certain things. The one thing that I find interesting reading Exodus right now is I think we're going to see an exodus out of the cities where people are just not can't find the happiness there anymore. It isn't. And where more and more will start to leave the cities, and what will be left there. I think that will be an interesting thing to watch in the next 10 years and what's happening there. And who's going to be left behind and who actually left, right? Yes, sadly, with what's going on right now, with the certain laws, this and that, where it seems like criminals just are getting the upper hand in so many ways. I'd say cities will become more and more lawless, right? Yes, it's kind of what it looks like, right? Yes. And as I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens next. I mean, I don't know. But I think people will start to realize that if you want to keep yourself and your children safe without constantly being in conflict with others, then you're going to need to find your place somewhere else than a city. Interesting. I don't know. Yes, we'll see. Could just be, I don't know. But I think in the city, too many people are just caged. And it disrupts their heart to mind in a big way. Anyway, that's what I wanted to share this morning. Oh, the rabbit. Rabbits are interesting animals. They are. Might read up some more on the rabbits. The real thing. Don't be influenced, okay, by these predictions and because you're born in the year of the what or this or that. Okay, please don't. That's not who we are. It's not what we follow. We have our own heart to mind. Okay? Yeah. What if I were to tell our dogs, oh, you're born in the year of, you're going to have, they're probably going to look at me and go, she's talking. It doesn't affect them at all. It doesn't faze them at all. Why not? Because they're always under the guidance of the principles of creation, which are, when it comes to the original understanding, the original code, they're always under the hand of God. You see? They're not confused when it comes to that, unless, again, we get involved and we cut them off from the hand of God. Then they start to suffer, right? Yes? How do they show it? All right? That's what I wanted to share this morning. God's love and blessings always, and may He protect you. Oh, go get you some peppermint tea. Oh, peppermint tea is great to balance out your pH, which then just kind of, your body starts to get a little harmony, right? So peppermint tea, yes? Take it for about 7 to 14 days, a regular cup a day, then you can slow down again. If it's been doing good for you, keep on going, right? Yes? Yeah. Well, I think that's what I'm going to do. I have a great mix of peppermint, apple mint, chocolate mint, and I have a field of peppermint out there, and great herb. Yes. Okay. We'll talk to you all another time.